Hey, what's going on? This is the Confidence Magnet here with another great video. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to break bad habits and addictions for good. This is going to be a very important video for you out there who like to smoke, who like to drink, who likes to get into all types of bad shit. You need to listen up, and I hope that this video helps you out the best way I know how. So let's get it. You must want to and be ready to quit. Just because it sounds nice to quit smoking or drinking or whatever it is, it doesn't mean you want to or are ready to quit. You must have it in your head and your heart to want to quit or break the bad habit. So what this means is, if you say, I'm going to give up smoking, and you really don't want to give up smoking, what you're going to do is you're going to go back to smoking or drinking or whatever it is you want to do. So what you got to do is you got to say, I want to do this. And once you have it in your head and your heart that you want to do it, then you can start taking the steps needed to go about that route. Going cold turkey is a good way to fall off the wagon each and every time. If your brain is lacking something, it will send signals to your body called cravings that will have you keep the bad habit going or the addiction going. So cold turkey is not the way to go. Let me just put that out there. You don't want to go cold turkey if you're trying to quit a habit or break an addiction or whatever. You want to make sure that when you quit for good, or you have control over those cravings. Just because you fail doesn't mean you're a failure. You could fail 1,000,000 times when you try to break a habit. This doesn't make you a failure. What makes you a failure is when you give in to those bad habits and give up trying. So if you've been trying to smoke or drink, if you've been trying to quit smoking or drinking or whatever it is that you have an addiction for, going through your motions and failing a bunch of times doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you're not approaching it the right way. Giving up bad habits and addictions can be effortless. Yes, it can be effortless. The reason why people find smoking or other addictions hard to break is because they focus on quitting instead of weaning themselves off of the addiction. Did you hear that? You have to wean yourself off the addiction. Like I said before, when you try to go cold turkey, it sends your body a shock. And that shock, it sends cravings to your body saying, hey, what are you doing? Why are you not giving me what I want? So what you got to do is, you got to say, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. But little by little, I'm going to take away this craving that you have. You have your whole life to break a bad habit. For the most part, if it's not life-threatening, if it's not killing you, you have your whole life to quit a bad habit. If you think about breaking a bad habit as a journey of miles instead of a 40-yard dash, you have a better chance of breaking a bad habit for good. So a lot of people, they'll say, well, you know what I'm going to do? For the whole year, I'm going to stop smoking. So let's say that the whole year they're good. They're like, oh, I did pretty good. Then you know what they're going to do? They're going to go back to smoking if they get those cravings. And they're going to fall off the wagon. It's not about quitting for a certain period of time. It's about going through the journey so you could quit for good. Willpower is not effective. When you try to use willpower alone, you will eventually go back to the same old bad habits. Willpower is not meant for long-term success. So what that means is, just like I said before, if you have a goal of quitting smoking for a year, and let's say you get those cravings after that year, you're going to go back to smoking. If you've been suffering all this time, you're like, okay, all this time I've been craving a cigarette and I finally can reward myself with a cigarette, and then you'll fall off the wagon again. So be careful when you use willpower. Willpower has to be used more for short-term success than long-term success. Breaking a bad habit should be a smooth transition, not a shock. When you shock your body into doing something, it will resist you every step of the way. When you make it a smooth transition, things will naturally fall into place and your brain will cooperate with you. So instead of you saying, okay, I'm not going to smoke anymore, or I'm not going to drink anymore, I'm not going to do anything that I'm addicted to. Instead, you get yourself off of it little by little. You say, okay, this is going to be a smooth transition. I'm going to go from smoking a pack a day to smoking one less cigarette a day. Or if I'm drinking a bottle a day, or like 5 bottles of alcohol a day, I'm going to drink one less sip. You want to do it as slowly as possible so that way it'll be a smooth transition. And before you know it, you won't need the thing anymore. So how to break a bad habit for life. This is going to be something that you need to get your pens and papers out. So let me give it to you. Think years instead of days or weeks. So this is going to be a constant journey until you quit, until you don't need it anymore. It's not about restricting yourself. It's about you saying, I don't need this thing anymore. Don't force yourself to break a bad habit. So if you're trying to go cold turkey, which I said before, never go cold turkey. If you're trying to go cold turkey, what's going to end up happening is you're forcing yourself to quit. And when you force yourself to quit, your body's going to send those cravings. And those cravings, they're going to be so intense that you're going to fall off the wagon and say, I can't do it. Give your body what it wants and slowly wean yourself off of the bad habit. So if you try to, I'll give you an example. Let's say that you want to stop smoking or stop drinking. You say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke one less cigarette a day. If you're a pack a day person, I'm going to smoke one less cigarette a day. I'll start with one cigarette. Then if you don't need that cigarette anymore, that last cigarette anymore, you okay, I'm going to smoke 2 less cigarettes a day. And you just keep doing that until you're not smoking a pack anymore. And if you, in this situation, it's like you're getting what you want, but you're getting way less of it. And during the course of time, you could probably quit within a year by doing it this way. Or you'll have more control over it. Instead of a pack a day, it'll probably be 1 cigarette a day, or 1 cigarette a week, or 1 cigarette a month, or 1 cigarette a year. Or you don't even need it anymore. So don't feel like it's helpless or you can't do it, because it's the way you approach it. And this is a really good way to approach it. Reward yourself. So if you feel that this addiction that you have is a reward, by doing it as much as you want, but restricting yourself little by little, it's kind of a reward. But you want to focus on eliminating the addiction or the bad habit. So reward yourself. You could reward yourself for something else. You probably reward yourself with the money you saved up. You could probably go shopping, or you could probably do something that you always wanted to do. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. Like I said before, you have your whole life to quit this addiction or this bad habit, unless it's life-threatening. So if it's life-threatening, then you might need evasive maneuvers. But I'm talking about something that is not life-threatening, and you can pretty much quit, and it won't affect you in the long run. Let the process naturally take its course. When things are done naturally, they are easy to break. So if you're in a situation where you're getting these bad cravings, you say, okay, the craving is too strong. Let me get that one puff, or let me get that one sip. It's not the end of the world. I didn't fail. Tomorrow, I'll get back on it. Because you might be trying to transition too fast. If you're transitioning too fast, then your cravings are gonna get stronger. So, like I said before, it has to be a natural process. Replace bad habits with a more powerful good habit. You need to substitute one habit for another. Swap out a bad habit for a better habit. So if you're smoking or drinking or whatever the addiction is, you want to replace it with something that's not bad. It's something that's actually good. So maybe you want to take up jogging or lifting weights, or you might want to eat a certain food that you enjoy in place of the cigarettes. And just make sure that that thing that you're eating, it doesn't become another addiction, because food as a substitute can turn into another addiction. So be very careful with that. Daily improvements accelerate your success. Daily improvements, no matter how big or small, gets you going in the right direction. The aim is to keep going in the direction you want instead of falling back to your old ways. That's all I need to say about that. When you do this on a regular basis, it gets easier, and pretty soon, within whichever time you need, you'll be able to quit, and it'll be a smooth transition. And you'll look back and you say, I can't believe I struggled with this for all these years. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter. You can join my mailing list where you get your free ebook, The Confident Skyscraper, where you'll get that strong foundation of real solid confidence. Links are in the description box. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace.